The most incendiary Trump rumor to yet has the internet ablaze tonight. Fans are reportedly in complete shock as the former president's greatest secret was finally revealed. Viral rumors and sensational rumor sites claim that rumors. And social media threads imply that Trump could have been concealing a side of himself that nobody ever anticipated. The term gay. Yes, you heard correctly. When images and purported insider admissions began to circulate online, what started as a few cryptic tweets quickly turned into a frenzy. As the notion of Trump leading a double life collides with the persona he has built for himself, supporters are appalled, detractors are astounded, and the political community is in disarray. Decades. Chaos has erupted on social media. As TikTok producers dramatize the purported disclosures with viral edits, dramatic music, and fan responses, hashtags like #StarTrumpSecret, #FansAirShook, and Double Life Donald are trending all over the world. It's simply another smear. Effort, supporters say. Critics claim it clarifies years' worth of inconsistencies. Furthermore, Trump has stayed silent throughout it all, neither acknowledging nor refuting the raging tempest. Is this simply another crazy rumor, then? Or is a secret that has the power to alter everything being revealed to the world? Keep an eye out. The drama is just getting started. It started as a whisper, a remark hidden on a little-known gossip forum. It's the kind of location where gossip starts before it becomes a wildfire. Initially, nobody listened. Trump had, after all, been the focus of every controversy conceivable. This whisper, however, was unique. It had nothing to do with politics, money, or even his marriage. Identity was at issue. According to one post, insiders were prepared to show the public a hitherto undiscovered aspect of Trump. He apparently struggled to conceal it. The message was screenshotted, shared again, and analyzed across platforms in a matter of hours. Platforms. At first, the thought seemed ridiculous, but by morning, the internet had hooked onto the startling phrase, "Trump is gay." It was charged with electricity, however. Speculation flared on Twitter threads. As soon as possible, TikTok developers started editing previous film, removing instances of Trump giving strange tones in his speeches, embracing political supporters, or complimenting specific guys. Every moment that had previously appeared unimportant was now shown as proof of living two lives. Fans were taken aback. Social media platforms transformed the rumor into a full-fledged spectacle, and critics cried out for vindication. Fans and Trump's secret are the hashtags used. Airshock made its way into the world's hot lists. Every meme and tweet fuels the craze. When images purportedly displaying private chats started to circulate, it was the first major spark. These widely shared photos show that someone close to Trump released proof of late-night talks and configurations that are not visible to the public. The screenshot's veracity was contested right away, but that simply added to the controversy. The claimed conversations were described in dramatic voiceovers on TikTok, accompanied with menacing music and subtitles that screamed, "The truth was always there." Whether or if they were true, Instagram gossip accounts shared them with clickbait headlines like, "Trump's secret life exposed." The internet had already made the decision to believe, or at the very least, to become fixated. Reactions spread along with the rumor. Supporters of Trump rushed to his defense, claiming the whole controversy was staged to embarrass him and denouncing the rumors as deepfake rubbish. However, detractors eagerly stepped in, asserting that described everything, even his complex psyche. Marriage to Melania and his oddly strong adoration for certain political men. So that's why he was obsessed with building walls. Maybe they were metaphorical closets, said commentators on late-night programs. The rumor was further solidified in popular culture when the jokes went viral and were shared thousands of times. The situation was exacerbated by Trump's camp's silence. Usually, he would quickly launch into angry denials or tirades on social media, but not a single word or tweet this time. People took that quiet as evidence because it was louder than any denial could have been. Perhaps, just perhaps, that was true if he wasn't yelling it down. The pandemonium was fueled by his silence, and disorder spread more quickly than truth ever could. Another flashpoint was Melania's response. She showed up alone to a charity banquet, her face as cold as ever, and she would not respond. Paparazzi screamed questions. Although no one could verify it, one photographer said she rolled. her eyes when asked whether she was aware of the secret. The image of her glinting and stony-faced as she walked by reporters became famous. Every shot was analyzed online, with some people claiming she seemed enraged and others maintaining that she seemed relieved, as if a long-hidden truth was at last coming to light. Ivanka was also surrounded by reporters who wanted to speak. She swerved, grinned broadly, and slid into a waiting vehicle. That quiet was labeled suspect right away. Don Jr. responded in the only manner he knew how, claiming on social media that the rumor was the product of political rivals and a vile falsehood. However, even critics ridiculed him for voicing too many protests in his irate postings. Well, even if it were true, it doesn't change anything, right? Eric supposedly said to pals, providing comedic relief as usual. Whether this statement was genuine or not, it went viral on social media, with one meme using his face as the caption, unintentionally acknowledging that the rumor may be accurate. Young and naive, Barron once again became the unwelcome object of pity. He reportedly refrained from leaving his room because he was ashamed of the news. According to a magazine, a student whispered, "I don't want to hear about my dad on TikTok anymore." Edits of that remark went viral on social media, portraying Barron as the silent victim of a circus he never requested to be a part of. By Oi. The conclusion of during the first week, the rumors had spread beyond the screenshots, the original postings, and the quiet. It was now considered a phenomenon. There were even protests. Some are teasing, some are encouraging. Outside Trump Tower, one group was holding rainbow flags and shouting, "Come out, Donald!" Another group retorted furiously, "Stop the lies!" The exchange of voices turned into a viral video that was repeatedly shown on television networks as evidence of how deeply the story had pierced the public's consciousness. One political analyst captured the essence of the fury so well that it became overpowering. Whether it is true or not is no longer relevant. The narrative lies in the rumor itself. It is a global addiction. And that was the reality. It wasn't a story about demonstrations, elections, or policy for the first time in years. Fans couldn't stop raving about Trump's character, mystery, and purported secret. The certainty had completely collapsed. The internet was looking for more than just answers. Drama, spectacle, and conclusion were what they desired. Additionally, Trump said nothing, declining to respond to the turmoil, and the storm just got worse. The globe drew closer, ravenous, anticipating the next turn. Because it was never simply politics with Trump, it's theater. And secrets, real or imagined, are what theater is all about. Like a tsunami surge, the second wave of mayhem struck. If the fire had been started by the first leaks and the quiet, this was the instant it roared uncontrollably. The narrative has evolved beyond mere internet fad. Newsrooms, living rooms, even the halls of power had been overrun by it. What started out as a rumor spread throughout the world, and the Trump, in addition to speculating, family members found themselves at odds with one another. It was stated that the atmosphere within Mar-a-Lago was intolerable. There were rumors of yelling fights reverberated around the gilded corridors. Trump is accused of wanted complete allegiance from his family, requiring them to publicly refute the rumors. Melania declined. The tale within was her coldness. According to the leak, she spoke directly to him. "If it's not true, why do you require me to deny it?" That phrase, whether it was made up or not, went viral, and memes quickly plastered it over her pictures. Ivanka allegedly argued with her father when she urged ignoring the talk, despite her best efforts to tread gently and advocate for calm. He reportedly said, "Ignore it. They're calling me gay. You don't ignore that." Tabloids took the comment, used it as a headline, and analyzed it indefinitely. Naturally, Don Jr. was more boisterous than before. Even his admirers saw a sense of desperation in his angry tweets, which referred to the rumor as a vile communist smear campaign, in his voice. His frenzied activity was ridiculed by critics, who implied that the more he struggled, the more credible the narrative seemed. Even if people thought it was true, it's not the worst thing, right? Eric, the butt of jokes once again, apparently, attempted to soothe his father. When that awkward comment was revealed, it was widely criticized online. "Eric Trump accidentally invents damage control for a scandal he doesn't understand," said one of the widely shared tweets. Barron, rumors that he would not attend family meals only became stronger. When questioned about the rumors, a purported classmate rolled his eyes and said, "I don't care what they say. None of this is my life." The internet took to that statement and portrayed him as the sole rational person in the center of the circus. But it wasn't only family that was in a frenzy. Washington's response was unique. Politicians who had previously supported Trump were now avoiding questions from reporters. Some attempted to turn the story into one of compassion, while others gave clumsy grins and hasty no-comment responses. Off the record, one senator allegedly said, "If it were true, it would explain a lot." The statement was leaked and burst on the internet, igniting new rumors. The content became a worldwide joke as talk programs and late-night comedians attacked it. According to one comic, Trump has always enjoyed rallies. As it turns out, he meant a completely other sort. Videos of that joke went viral, igniting the internet once again. Hollywood even joined in, and celebrities started commenting in amazement. "Sex don't stay secrets forever," a pop singer said in a cryptic tweet, which fans linked to the controversy right after. An actor made a joke on Instagram. Therefore, he was always constructing closets for himself. Even those who would typically stay out of politics were unable to ignore the spectacle as the jokes, memes, and comments spread so widely that it was no longer simply news but entertainment. The proof was always there, according to web investigators who delved further, bringing up old interviews and incidents from Trump's history and pointing to words, gestures, friendships, and even pictures of him with male superstars. The preoccupation escalated to the point that anybody supporting Trump felt drowned out by the sheer amount of conjecture, with YouTube channels devoting hours to breaking down his body, language, repeating speeches, and making connections that may never have been made. During all of this, Trump's silence it was its own sort of theater. He remained silent every day, and the rumors grew. Critics prodded him to confirm, while supporters pleaded with him to deny. According to reports, he raced across Mar-a-Lago, angry at the treachery he thought was coming from inside his own circle, accusing staff of leaking information as the media swarmed like vultures waiting for a sound bite. He shouted that someone in the family had to the media. "You believe you're defending yourself?" During one late-night altercation, he allegedly screamed, "You're killing me!" The rumors of treachery only served to heighten the crisis. Some blamed Melania, others Ivanka, and others even speculated that Don Jr. may be stoking the flames in order to establish himself as the heir apparent. The notion that Trump's own family had betrayed him, whether true or not, transformed the rumor into a Shakespearean play. The demonstrations followed an interminable argument among fans, each side certain that they knew who the genuine leaker was. A bizarre scene unfolded outside Trump Tower, with demonstrators on one side waving rainbow flags and shouting, "Come! Out, Donald! Stop the lies!" yelled irate fans on the opposing side. Videos of rainbow flags fluttering in front of Trump Tower, juxtaposed with red MAGA caps roaring in rage, went viral immediately after the two sides engaged in shouting fights. Captured on camera, these clips became a symbol of the nation's division. For believers, the rumor was the unveiling of the ultimate secret, and it was no longer about fact but belief. Everyone else viewed it as gripping drama, the type of controversy that made it difficult to distinguish between politics and reality TV, while Trump's supporters crumbled and his family shattered while he stayed mute. For non-believers, it was the darkest slander yet. By the end of the second week, there was no denying that Trump's alleged secret had rocked both Hollywood and Washington to their foundations, and the whole globe was leaning in closer, waiting for the next twist. The controversy should have begun to fade by now, but the internet wanted more than answers. It wanted blood, resolution, closure, and like all previous scandals, it wasn't going to end until someone somewhere snapped. Now, instead, it became more intense, angular, and unrelenting. As people believed the storm couldn't get any worse, new leaks surfaced, each more shocking than the last, and videos, screenshots, and alleged insider confessions started to fall like bombs, fueling a rumor mill that was already churning. One gossip blog claimed to have obtained fragments of private emails in which Trump allegedly confided to a longtime friend about feeling trapped by appearances and expectations. It was impossible to verify the authenticity of the emails, but That didn't matter because their ambiguous, emotional, and heavy tone was sufficient to make others believe. One of the purported lines was, "I feel like I'm living two lives sometimes, and I can't tell the truth to anyone." Social media was rocked by just one statement. TikTok modifies overlaid Trump's previous speeches, added slow piano music, and included captions such as "the secret he couldn't say out loud." Within hours, millions of people watched, commented, and debated the video. And the story took a turn for the worse when a former staffer, speaking anonymously, told a podcast that Trump's personal behavior had always been more complex than the guy general public anticipated. "We saw unusual meetings, late-night calls, and unexpected outbursts of paranoia," the staffer intimated, but they never openly. The podcast footage was downloaded tens of millions of times, headlines burst, and hashtags like DA Trump double life and hog truth revealed trended for days. As if on cue, Melania struck again with a statement that corroborated the rumor, but the hint was enough to fuel the fire. Photographers captured the legendary picture of her wearing a flowing white dress at a charity fashion show, with a vibrant rainbow-colored handbag accenting the whole ensemble. It was another quiet but heartbreaking act, every aspect. Social media went crazy when tabloids featured it on their covers. Was it a coincidence, a calculated signal, or a subtle hint of support for the LGBTQ+ community? No one knew, and Melania provided no explanation. On TikTok, admirers referred to her as the Queen of Quiet Revolt, and memes described her purse as the clutch that brought down an empire. However, the silence around her decisions made them more powerful than any words could have. Insiders claim that Ivanka secretly pleaded with her father to take a back seat before the controversy ruined what little remained of the family's togetherness, but Trump allegedly retaliated. The family dynamics reached a breaking point. Don Jr. became more outspoken online, vowing to sue and labeling the disclosures satanic lies, while behind the scenes, he reportedly said he was disintegrating, fearing that the family brand was going down. Eric reportedly told reporters in his typical tone-deaf manner, "It's 2025. Those things aren't important anymore, are they?" Whether true or not, the comment went viral and was criticized as the most ridiculous defense ever offered. Barron remained mute, but rumors circulated that he avoided all family get-togethers and tried to distance himself from the incident as much as possible. His peaceful boy was caught in a family circus he never requested, and his silence made him the sad hero of the internet once again. The political ramifications worsened, and Washington allies who had a few attempted to portray it in a good light, arguing that it was a moment of human weakness, while others slid away, no longer prepared to associate with a guy whose private life was suddenly the focus of public ridicule. However, most just remained silent, and even donors started to remove funds from scheduled events. One strategist told a reporter flatly, "This isn't politics anymore." As all of this unfolded, protests outside Trump properties grew more intense, with supporters yelling back in rage and rainbow flags flying outside Trump Tower. One night, the altercations turned violent, and police had to step in as the possibility of come out. Donald clashed with cries to stop the falsehoods. Video of the turmoil quickly went viral, supporting the idea that Trump's purported secret had evolved from a gossip dispute to a cultural conflict. Reached his breaking point during a private meeting with supporters, when he reportedly yelled that the world had turned against him, that his family's silence was treachery, and that the rumors were ruining him for over an hour, according to insiders. "They think I'm weak. They think I'm hiding. But I'll never admit to something I'm not," he allegedly said. When this diatribe was leaked, it didn't help him much. Fans clung to his resistance, while others ridiculed his desperation. However, seeing Trump yelling about treachery just made it seem like the controversy was destroying him from the inside out. Then, the last twist came when a blurry late-night video that was purportedly taken by a hotel visitor went online and seemed to show Trump sneaking into a private room with a guy whose face was blurry. The 15-second film was hardly good enough to identify him, yet it was taken as gospel by the internet. Headlines blared. The video that makes all the difference. News sites broadcast it over and over again, and TikTok remixes made it the main character in a tragic soap opera. Despite the fact that some questioned if it was a doppelganger, or by the end of the third week, the controversy had escalated to a fever pitch, And the rumor was no longer about whether Trump was homosexual. Deepfake. The narrative's sheer potency rendered denial pointless. Perception had again triumphed over fact. The public believed what it wanted to believe, and what it believed was devastating. It had grown into something larger, a symbol of lies, secrets, and the downfall of a man who had built his empire on projecting power. Talk programs broadcast weekly specials, dinner tables hummed with hypotheses, and what began as murmurs on a gossip forum now dominated every discussion in America and abroad. The storm had become uncontrollable. In addition, TikTok produced many edits, each one more dramatic than the previous. And whether the rumor was real or not, it had put Trump in a difficult situation from which he was unable to recover. Even his supporters started to visibly waver at this point. Those who had earlier been willing to stand up for him at all costs avoided his calls, avoided interviews, and turned down invites to Mar-a-Lago. His inner circle had narrowed to a small number of dears and family members, and even inside behind closed doors, flaws in those walls were visible, and the yelling was continuous. Melania, who has yet to make a comment, reportedly warned him one evening in front of staff, "Every word you say makes it worse. The only thing keeping you is my silence, avoiding complete destruction." When the phrase was released, it went viral, online, and was accepted as the pinnacle of resistance. Critics praised her as the silent saboteur, while supporters praised her as a silent guardian. Ivanka, exhausted and nervous, started to withdraw from public appearances, avoiding inquiries from reporters, but for Trump, it was the most obvious indication that the lady standing next to him was no longer with him. The kids weren't any better. Don Jr. remained stubborn online, launching heated tirades against bogus news, but his energy seemed more desperate than believable. Insiders said she was tired from the circus, and photographers had a frozen grin. It doesn't matter what people believe as long as Dad says it's not true, Eric reportedly said to pals after making a mistake once again. Barron apparently remained completely absent, and that foolish comment became into another widely shared meme that was ridiculed as the Eric Doctrine. Trump tried to regain control of the story as the public began to unravel, and he isolated himself from the family and the media, creating a symbolic picture of a youngster refusing to inherit the mess by holding a rally in an attempt to demonstrate his might, but it completely failed. He rushed onto the platform, his cheeks heated, and said, "They're saying things about me that are untrue." He pounded his fist on the stage and yelled into the microphone, "They're spreading lies, disgusting lies." The audience first applauded, but the tone soon changed. Videos of the rally went viral right after, with sarcastic captions like, "Strong men don't collapse like this." They showed his body language agitated, his voice breaking mid-sentence, and his denials spiraling into nonsensical wrath. For many, it was evidence of something more terrible, that he was no longer alive, rather than the rumor, in charge. The show didn't stop there either, as a series of purported audio recordings of Trump having a private chat with someone else was leaked that same week. "If people knew who I really am, they'd never forgive me." The line played repeatedly on news channels, and TikTok became the final nail in the coffin. The voice was unmistakably his, muttering phrases that sounded emotional, even confessional. The audio was grainy. The repercussions was immediate. Late night. Comedians jumped in, and it didn't matter whether the video was manufactured or genuine. It felt real, and emotion was stronger than facts. Once again, protesters filled the streets, with MAGA hats and rainbow flags clashing in scenes that resembled theater more than politics, and a huge banner was hung over the Trump Tower. The sentence became a chant, a meme, and finally a cultural catchphrase. Images of the banner went global, ingrained in the public's memory of the incident. Accusations flew in all directions as the situation inside Mar-a-Lago descended into turmoil. Staffers stated that Trump was constantly yelling at assistants, demanding to know who was leaking. "It's family, it has to be family," he reportedly yelled, his voice quivering with wrath. At Ivanka for separating herself, at Melania for remaining silent, and even at Don Jr. for not putting up a stronger fight, the already broken family now seemed to be living together as enemies. Melania, who is usually mysterious, dealt her most severe blow without saying a word. Insiders recounted meals where no one talked, just the sound of cutlery clinking against plates, and the weight of suspicion hanging in the air. Melania showed up at another function. Once again, she was by herself, wearing a crisp white suit with a key-shaped pin. The symbolism was unmistakable. Was it a reference to discovering the truth? A taunt? A claim that she was the key to everything? One popular post said, "The media circus was relentless." The internet went crazy, analyzing the decision and transforming the key into the next symbol of rebellion. She had the key, but he lost the lock. There was a fresh footage, a new rumor, a new hypothesis every hour. Some said that the whole controversy was staged to make him seem bad. Others thought it was a long-kept secret that was now coming to light. However, the truth was irrelevant in the end. The story has been corrected. The world was rocked when Trump's secret was revealed. Few ever imagined that the controversy could accomplish what it did by the fourth week. It produced Trump Seems Weak, fragile yet neither strong or impervious. Chaos was now suffocating the guy who had previously thrived on it. His kingdom seemed more like a collapsing castle than a stronghold. Stage. The performers are running off the stage, but the light is still glowing. Critics proclaimed triumph. Followers engaged in acrimonious internet debates, while allies murmured of desertion. During it all, Trump stayed in the middle, struggling against an uncontrollable narrative. His denials were ineffective. His silence gave the fire life, and his anger simply fueled it. The storm was ideal, and he was trapped in it and had no escape route. Whether he was homosexual, whether the leaks were authentic, or if the rumors had any truth to them was ultimately irrelevant. It had to do with the narrative that the world had chosen to accept. And that tale once out, it was impossible to control. The whirlwind then completes a full round. One of the most spectacular tales of our time began as a single internet whisper. A rumor so potent that it split American families, shook Hollywood, and changed the way people spoke in Washington. The idea that Donald Trump had been concealing a hidden life that presented him in a completely different light, whether it was based on reality or fabricated rumors, was too compelling for the world to ignore. The family was left in ruins, reviewers were ecstatic, and fans were outraged. Every action is scrutinized by social media's ruthless eyes. Don Jr.'s anger, Ivanka's distancing, Melania's quiet, Barron's withdrawal, and Eric's mistakes all became parts of a sad story that no scriptwriter could have written more skillfully. This narrative became more than just the truth because to the late-night jokes, rainbow demonstrations, grainy leaks, and viral videos, it evolved into a show, amusement, and myth. The unsettling element is that people started asking, what does it mean, instead of, is it true? Because meaning often takes precedence over fact in the realm of controversy. Power, bluster, and the appearance of control were the cornerstones of Trump's empire. But all of it was taken away from him in this story. He seemed weaker the more he retaliated. He seemed more frail the louder he yelled. His very quiet turned into evidence, supporting the assumption that he was concealing something too explosive to acknowledge. What comes next then? Will this rumor be forgotten like so many other scandals? Ignored and forgotten as the next big story takes precedence? Or has this tale sown a mistrust that will never go away? One that will follow Trump wherever he goes. Everything he says and everything he does. Will Melania finally snap? Her quiet with a personal truth bomb? Will there be another insider who comes out with evidence that makes a big difference? Or is all of this really a fantastic reminder that the internet determines what is true in today's society, and that rumors are more powerful than facts? The solutions are still kept secret and buried behind golden doors. However, this cannot be disputed. The world has been shaken and has been watching. Donald Trump is not in charge of the narrative for the first time in decades. He is being dominated by the story. His name is now inscribed in a tale that will never fully go away, whether he wants it or not. It's your time now. What do you think? Is this a long-hidden truth being revealed, or is it simply another intricate slander intended to discredit him? Do you believe that the quiet is more powerful than any denial? Or is this just evidence that rumors are just as potent as facts in this day and age? Please share your opinions in the comments section below. We are interested in hearing all theories, viewpoints, and perspectives. If you were riveted to this story, don't forget to hit the like button. To keep ahead of the drama, press the notification bell and subscribe so you don't miss the next surprising turn. If this controversy has taught us anything, it is that Secrets are temporary. Furthermore, the next discovery in the Trump universe is never far away.